Ah, damn it, I missed it. Yep, I'm back downtown again. And again for ProFusion. I don't always take transits, but when I do, I go to ProFusion. How's that for Doseki impression? Now it is Thursday, November 6th, so I'm only coming for the second day. I'm only here because of the Canon announcement of the R6iii III. Otherwise, I probably would have gone for both days. And hopefully I go run into Simon Yates from Ordinary Filmmaker. Now, it doesn't open until 10 o'clock, and I believe it is, shoot. It is currently 9 o'clock. My initial thought was to come down a bit earlier, get some interesting downtown shots, especially around the pre-dawn hours or golden hours, a lot of the photographers like to call it. Unfortunately, plans changed. As I said, my daughter got her. I started the braces procedure for my kids. My daughter's got my daughter got hers first. Oh, someone doing a shoot there. I'm gonna stay out of the way. They're not gonna want someone like me vlogging in the background. I'll just stay here in front of Brookfield's place. Got my daughter started on hers first. My son's is next week. He's got spacers and he's supposed to get, they call it furniture. I think it's supposed to be the expanders. But my daughter went straight to braces. She got hers a couple days ago and her teeth and gums are in pain. So I had to last minute formulate a sort of a soft, like like a long-term care type food, you know, just mushy, easy to chew, not something that doesn't require a lot of chewing. Actually, come to think of it, that's one good thing that came out of my bad experience at working long-term care. And I had to do that this morning, so I didn't get a chance to come down. But since I'm down here, and I have around another hour before ProFusion opens up, I'm gonna make the best of it. You know, stupid me, even though these are one-way streets, I'm still so used to, and by habit, look both ways. Every photographer in Toronto has this shot. Right over here. I'm gonna see if I can do it without security bothering me. Let's see if we line up right though. It's too bad it's not windy enough that that flag isn't waving. God, Roy Thompson Hall. Yeah, I think I still have like 20 minutes or so. Still plenty of time, but I'm pretty sure there's a big lineup right now for to get into ProFusion, so I'm gonna start making my way over. And I'm here, not much of a lineup. Oh, take that back. It's actually a pretty big lineup. Damn it, if only my kids didn't need their braces. Oh, man. Canada's not the usual spot. Oh, KEH. Oh, you're Sigma.
Morning, how you doing?
All right. Oh, get me back on this. All right. Walk the floor first.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Timbits muffins, donuts, and coffee.
Oh. There you go. This is looking for. Okay, so what did I do at ProFusion? I got to try. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't really say that. I got to pick up the R6 Mark III. I didn't get to play around with it only because as soon as I picked it up and started filming with it just to get a feel for it, who slots in right next to me? Simon Yates from the Ordinary Filmmaker. I just hear his voice just at the side of my ear, and it's like, oh, I recognize that. Oh God, it is Simon Yates right next to me. Somehow he made it to ProFusion despite being up at 1 in the morning or even before that for the R6 III announcement. And he just starts going on about all the specs that he knew and were confirmed about the R6 III.
Front telly light. Full-size HDMI port. The battery light has moved, or the activity light.
Yeah, film's coming back.
And ready for the Fiesta Resistance.
CFX
Took
Prestige.
it from the R5. No, it's going to come here. You've got open gate,
Yeah, we have open gates.
7K RAW,
Yes.
7K open gate, Canon log 2, Canon log 3, H.2.
Aspect ratio
Canon log.
that you can get vertical at 4K.
Yes.
No. XF, HEVC, and XFAVC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
You would pass the test if there was one.
Well, I would hope so. I was up to 2 o'clock this morning.
Considering
doing a
the number of
live stream.
videos that you've put up as well. I was already sold on the R6 III as it was. But between what he was talking about and their presenter, I saw him earlier as well. It was Simon, Simon or Simone d'Entremont. Did I pronounce it right? I think so. He was talking about. So he got himself. He didn't. I don't remember if he said if it was a pre-production model. I missed a lot of his presentation. But he was showing off all these pictures that he took with the R6 Mark III. I don't know if he was in Kenya. He was somewhere in an African safari. The pictures looked amazing, and he did mention that yes, because it's not a stack sensor, it is a slower sensor readout speed, but it's only like about a hair's faster. I looked it up. I put the sensor readout speed at the bottom. It's a little bit slightly faster than the R6 Mark II. But it's like a 30% increase in resolution. Hey, there's some wiggle room for cropping on that camera. But everything else that they, especially when okay, Simon Yates. Okay, I'm gonna refer one to Simon, the other one is Simon. Those readout speeds at 32 megapixels using the C5, the C50, yeah, is it C50? Yeah, the C50 sensor. You will still get some rolling shutter if you do stuff like what I do. I'll go look for urban wildlife, specifically birds, a lot of smaller birds, mind you, that flap their wings really, really, really fast. But it's got to be. It'll be faster than my R7. I think my R7 is something like 27 milliseconds versus the R6 II. I think was around 50. It's under 15 milliseconds, so it's like twice as fast. So the rolling shutter is not going to be as bad on the R6 series versus this one. I did manage to get 2 shots in with the newer RF 45mm 1.2. And I think it was one of the guest hosts, one of the guest speakers that Simon Yates had on his podcast, Hoyman. Jared Hoyman, I remember he did mention, he asked just how well this lens, the new RF 45 1.2, how does it compare to the older EF 50mm f1.2 L lens, which is what I'm currently shooting on, by the way, on my R7. I didn't catch the live stream, but I did watch it over, and I remember that question being presented. So I've actually pulled it out. I only managed to get 2 shots. So I don't really have a good point of comparison, but from what I can tell, the lens is a lot lighter. The autofocus is slower. Not really. It's not really that snappy. Only because I think it's the 45 uses STM motors, whereas this thing, the 50mm, uses USM motors, which is silent and it's more silent and it's faster. Both were still fairly accurate from what I can tell. But the background blur, I like the 50 a little bit better, only because that extra 5mm gives you a bit more subject focus. But you'd be really happy with the 45. I mean, I think that 45mm was somewhere in the $400 US range, so you're probably looking at around $700 to $800 Canadian. I mean, I picked up this thing for about $1,000 used. It's a great lens, but it's heavier, which the 45 is a lot lighter, and it's cheaper. And image quality wise, there is a trade-off, I think, and that I could tell with just a couple of images in a controlled environment. I did get to try out the RF 200 to 800mm lens. Only reason why I want to try it is because, well, this thing, which I showed off in my last video, it's a good lens. I don't have too many complaints about it. It's not that expensive. I picked it up, it was $1,100 Canadian, and I've had this for as long as I've had my R7. And the R7, I had it since when it first came out. The only thing is, I've complained, and I alluded to in the last video, is a heavy lens. Now, the 200 to 800 is, on paper, heavier than this. However, it was, I don't know, it was probably like, I don't know the exact measurements. I had to look it up. I'll put it up on the screen. But from what I can tell, it was about, just to give you an example, about this much longer. And the whole lens tube was flushed. So whereas this one, it's rigidy, and it gets bigger here at the end. Even though this is lighter, but this is smaller. So all that weight is more concentrated down in a smaller package. So the weight, the fatigue in carrying this, it weighs you down more. Whereas the Canon, the 200 to 800, it's better weight distribution, but that's not even the biggest thing. The optical stabilization on that doesn't quite work very well on my R7. I haven't had a chance to play around too much with the settings using the USB dock. Is that the 200 to 800?
Until I bought the Mark I.
At the end? It's not broken this time, is it? Last year when I came, it was broken. He wouldn't let me mount it on my camera. Okay, good. I would like to try it, please. At ProFusion, the Canon booth, they had the RF 200 to 800. I tried it on here, and I'll put up the video of it, and the handheld, the optical stabilization on that with my R7, it was stable. Fully zoomed at 800mm. That was incredible, and I'm almost sold on that too. By the way, the R6 Mark III at $2,800. I didn't ask them at the Canon booth how much it is in Canadian, so I was assuming it'll probably be around $3,600 Canadian. The RF 200 to 800, I know that specifically was around $2,700. I don't recall what the show price was. I think they knocked off like $100 or $200. Not even $200, probably $150. That lens I'm sold on as well as on top of the R6 Mark III. Oh right, I also checked out the Fuji booth, just the Instax section, only because my daughter has one of those cameras. I gave it to her. I gifted it to her for, I think it was Christmas or her birthday. My cousin's wedding last year gave me the coolest idea. She ran the coolest idea. She had a whole bunch of the Instax medium-sized Insta cameras floating around. Well, she had a few of them. They were floating around several tables, and guests were allowed to take pictures of themselves and of the events and bring those pictures home with them. And I was thinking maybe we can do something very similar along that lines for my daughter's birthday, which is coming up. I'm not going to get a bunch more. I wouldn't mind getting maybe one more. One of the other Fuji Instax cameras, and I was looking specifically at one of those hybrid things, the ones that can save your images to an SD card. So it acts like a digital camera, a digital point and shoot, while it can also print off the pictures that you take. It was a really neat idea. I kind of like it. Will I run with that? I don't know. Those exposures can be pretty pricey. One of the guys that was there looking at the booth as well, he was mentioning how there was a Taylor Swift themed exposure.
They don't have it here. There's Taylor Swift custom edition.
Oh dear God! And which is out of circulation now. So if you ever do find it, it'll be like a limited, it'll be like a collector's item, which you probably pay like an arm and a leg for, by the way. So from the Fuji booth, I went over to the DJI booth. I just had a look at their some of the drones. I asked them about the Neo 2. Between this and the Neo 2,
I actually can't talk about the Neo 2.
No comment, can't say anything about it. Big Boss was there apparently behind the guy. He was showing off the Neo 1 to this little kid, tethered to that little kid, just to show him. It's really cool. The kids obviously would love something like that. But I just had to comment, that kid, he could run right now, and he can have a free drone. He just had to make sure he runs faster than the security. It's facial recognition, so when you activate it, it sees your face, it knows to follow you from there. So he can run off with a drone right now, and he'll have a free drone.
That's true. He's gonna be fast.
Yeah, he's just got to be fast. Make sure security doesn't catch him. Easy way to lose a drone. But yeah, he wouldn't comment about that. I asked him, "Are you working on a Gen 2 Osmo 360?" He's like, "Oh, no comment there either." DJI 360 yet, or is that?
I can't confirm nor deny that's going on.
There's this next gen in the works.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say.
I wouldn't mind getting a 360 camera and do something with what Gerald Undone does. Mostly for my nature walks. I am going to continue on with that on my off Saturdays. Having a user replaceable lens, especially for something like a 360 camera, when you put it in the situations that these things will find themselves in, it's kind of necessary. Like, yes, I know Sean from Air Photography did say that, he did the math. It's cheaper to use the DJI's lens replacement service and using their services to do it for you. It's just that you're out of a camera for a little while. Also, on one of Sean from Air Photography's video about the DJI Nano, I did ask him if he knows what the transfer speed is for offloading images from a full camera module onto the media module with an SD card. How long does it take to go, to take a full camera with its internal storage of 128 gigs onto, and just do a complete file dump? I think I just gave Sean an idea of a video to do about that, because apparently DJI does not know the transfer speeds either. I mean, your transfer speed is probably just going to be limited to whatever the speed is on your micro SD card, which I do have one here, I think. They're V30s. V30 does what? Let's see, I've got... Okay, this is a UHS one at 633. This one claims about 100 megs per second. Most likely it's limited to just that speed. So, for comparison, one of the booth guys had... I think he said that he had a... He tried transferring something like a 2 gig file, and it took around less than 20 minutes to do. That doesn't, well, that actually sounds kind of slow now that I think about it. But the Nano is not something that's on my I kind of need to wish list. Oh, I did go to Sigma's booth. That was before I went to DJI. And I was curious because I know Sigma had released its replacement for the 18-35 1.8 with a 17-40 1.8 DC art lens. And it is RF. They do have an RFS version, so I did get to mount around there. I got to take a couple of shots. I didn't get to really play around with it too much. It's interesting. I wouldn't mind it. So this one is the older 18-35, and it's an internal zoom, constant aperture of 1.8. I don't know the exact weight, but it's got some weight to it. I mean, it looks plastic, but it feels so solid. It's almost like it's got plastic wrapped around some aluminum. This feels plastic, but it's so solid. And it's heavy because of that. And now the 17-40, it feels probably like 30% lighter than this, if not more. I'll have to look up the weight and I'll put it on the screen. From what I can tell from the images, it looks just as sharp. The autofocus is just as fast. It's just as snappy. And they were selling it for $1,100 at the show. Otherwise, it would have been $1,200 Canadian. And I picked this guy up for $700 used. This is very versatile. I wouldn't mind trying this on the gimbal at my daughter's birthday. I don't know if it's doable or not. Obviously, I wouldn't get the zoom function. This is not a power zoom. But this thing is fairly heavy. The gimbal may have an issue with this, but the RFS one, I don't think it would. It is that much lighter. Across from DJI, there was also Insta360. Their booth, I remember last year the booth was quite small because all they had was just their 360 camera. They had the Insta Go, what's that one with the modular design one? They had several different camera modules. They had that one there too. But now this year they also have the. I really should do notes. The AntiGravity. That's it. So I asked the guy if AntiGravity was just a different company and they produced the drone and then Insta360 just does the camera. No. He says that they're both one company. It's just AntiGravity is going to be, I guess, kind of like a dedicated drone division of Insta360. So I thought that was interesting. I tried the goggles on. It's a really trippy, weird experience. Maybe because they weren't flying it. It was indoors. It's an indoor event after all, so they couldn't fly it. Mind you, DJ was able to fly at least the Neo, only because I think it's got the protected prop guards, so if it falls on anyone, it's not going to really hurt them that much. So you had the guy at the booth, he's just holding up the drone like this while you were wearing the goggles and looking all around. It was just the most trippy, disorienting experience. I haven't even tried FPV yet, which, by the way, when I was at the DJI booth, I did ask, because I looked at the M3 goggles.
This is the N3 goggles. Okay. Do you want to see through it?
And then the goggles 3. I didn't realize that the price difference, that the smaller one would have been more expensive. I've been playing around with the idea of getting one of those goggles plus the FPV remote for my Neo. Those goggles for the anti-gravity drone, they're small, but mind you, the battery pack, it's not a built-in unit. You actually have to hold it, and there's a wire that's attached that you hold in your hand with, and that's not the most practical thing, I think, unless they had. I don't. The guy did say this is a production model. They haven't released it yet to the North American market. When someone did ask how much the drone is, the guy at the booth just threw the question out, like, well, how much do you think it should be? It's like, well, dude, I don't know. It's your drone. It's your company. You just answer the question. Like, how much do I think it'll probably be? For a 360 FPV, the whole package, I am guessing, based on what DJI is offering, probably around $1,500 Canadian to start. They could surprise me and put it lower. And then there was Simon Yates's presentation of the R6 Mark III. I forgot which lens he said he used. He said he doesn't mind. I know he said he used a 24-70 for a number of close-up shots. He wasn't using anything that was too far. I think he also said he brought his 70 to 200, and then he had a prime with him. Probably the 400mm f2.8, because he was saying how when he went on this African safari trip, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised like how often you don't need to have 600mm zoom on you. I especially remember that comment he made, which I was a little surprised. I thought you would find the need for something like the 200 to 800, but he had some really nice, fantastic shots, and he even mentioned how the one thing that I was concerned about with the R6 Mark III not having the Digic accelerator processor is it'll probably take a hit with the autofocus capabilities. Not that the R6 II had bad autofocus, but the R5 Mark II, from what I've seen from other YouTubers, that autofocus is just amazing. When you're locked onto a subject, you lose view of that subject, and then you still maintain your lock of that subject once it comes back to clear view again. That is cool. My R7 can't do that. And the video functionalities of the R6 Mark III. Here's the biggest reason why it's interested me. If I do more video, as nice as my R7 is, the option range that you have with the R6 Mark III, all those codecs, all those video modes, 7K open gates. You've got XF HVC. There's Canon log 2 and 3. Long op, whatever that's supposed to mean. There is so much to choose from in that small package because it's a sensor from a cinema camera. So that's a platform that I can probably learn more off of. Another booth I went to because I was thinking about jumping onto the R6 Mark III, especially with its video features, is I checked out Atomos. Atomos is there, showing off all their glorious products. Of course, you got the Ninja monitor series, and yeah, I told the guy. So I just lightly spoke to him. I told him like I wouldn't mind jumping on R6 Mark III, but my R7, with the micro HDMI port on there, and he said, "Oh yeah, I know what you mean." Because the rig that was right in front of him, showing off I think it was the Ninja 5 he was showing off, was the R5C that still uses, just like my R7, micro HDMI port. And I said, well, maybe in the future, if I jump on the R6 Mark III, that's got full-size HDMI. It's like, oh God, yes. Finally, Can's ditching it. I mean, even right now, just trying to film this, just to make sure I'm still in focus. I had a little trouble getting this damn app to work because the camera is actually a good almost 5 feet away from me, especially with this 50mm here. And of course, my cell phone here just wants to keep going to sleep mode, so I can't always make sure I'm still in focus. A monitor like that would be really cool to have. Now, I didn't really ask how much it was, but I know that I've looked into the Ninja 5, and we're talking like $800 right there, Canadian. I don't know what the showroom price would have been. I didn't bother looking it up, at least until I learned more about video and video production. I did go over to the Nikon booth. I just got to manhandle the Z6 III. It's nifty. I don't know. Nikon just doesn't feel it for me. I only walked by the Sony booth. The Sony booth is always packed, especially because they have that setup where they always have a model there. I took a couple snapshots there as well, and that was basically it for me over at ProFusion. You know, a productive day for me. Just seeing all the gear. I'm a gearhead. Okay, you saw it. You saw it in my previous video. I've got gas, but alas, I also walked away with nothing. I didn't make any purchases. I hinted at some commitments, but at the end of the day, I just can't. My kids are getting braces, so my daughter's got her birthday coming up. Yeah, season's turning, so there was my winter tires. One of them needed a replacement, so that was more money there. Christmas is coming up, you know. I just, especially with the braces, that one is hurting. That's $14,000. Everything that I wanted, everything I was planning, hoping for, out the door. No, it's not out the door. Just delayed. Eventually, that R6iii, for me, if there was one camera for me to jump onto for full frame, I think that's it. That would be it. Especially since, again, when Simon Yates, when he walked up, there was one thing that he mentioned, and it just resonated. It hit me. It's like, if the R6iii and the R5 II were both out at the exact same time, he probably would have gone with the R6iii. Some people even talking about maybe swapping the R5 II for the R6iii. Why? It's got similar capabilities. They both have dual card slots, but one of them is CF Express B. If the R5 II had dual CF Express Type B, that probably would have been a different story. But it doesn't. The video capabilities, all the video formats, a lot of these guys, they're not just photographers, they're videographers too. So all those functions on the R6 Mark III with OpenGate, sure, the R5 II could get OpenGate in the firmware. Will Canon do it? Who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And plus the file sizes, 45 megapixels versus 33. My R7, it is, sure, it's APS-C, is also around, it's like 32 megapixels on my R7. Considering how many shots I take with this thing, I'm running out of space. I'm flipping through some of my pictures, and I'm just zapping away a lot of them as well. But a lot of photographers don't do that. They actually do keep even their bad shots. And speaking of which, I forgot to bring it up too. The pre-capture. The pre-capture on the R6 Mark III is executed the exact same way as the R5 Mark II. My R7, it is sort of pre-capture. They call it raw burst mode, where everything that it captures before you hit the shutter is put into this weird sort of compressed zip file that you have to extract in camera. That's a pain in the ass. That is such a pain. And the R6 Mark III, well, the R5 Mark II did away with it first, and that's now in the R6 Mark III. And on top of that, there's a dedicated button on the camera. It's right by the shutter too. That, well, rather you can program it there, where you can actually just kill that function. No longer do you have to go through the menu, take your pre-burst, okay, switch modes, take a couple of single shots, put it back. Oh, what happened? You've got to go back through the menu again to turn that function on. Don't need to do that anymore. One button, pre-burst. One button, pre-burst is off. I think the R6 Mark III might be a better wildlife camera than my R7. The only bad part, the only real con I can think of at the moment, aside from the price, is my R7, I still want to keep it around, uses the LPE6 NH battery. R6 Mark III, though, uses the newer LPE6P batteries. Now, if I use these NH batteries on the R6 Mark III, it's probably going to cripple something. On top of that, a few of my batteries they're not official Canon, which may pose a bigger problem. And eventually, if I do jump on the R6 Mark III, I'll probably have to get rid of all of those and replace them with the P batteries. That's going to be a little pricey as well. But hey, you know what? That was ProFusion for me in a nutshell. Just walking around, checking out gear, running into, well, this time one YouTuber, playing around and just enjoying myself. My feet are killing me, by the way. But as usual, I will be going back next year. Hopefully, I'll have some money to spend.